CBS News New York, your home to start your day.
World Series mugging.
Literally tries to take his glove off.
He rips the ball right out of the glove.
If someone came to me and tried to rip this microphone out of my hand, I got mugged.
Then, crowd wars. Trump versus Kamala.
By far the largest rally.
And Biden's big oops.
The only garbage I see floating out there is his supporters.
And what we learned about the meltdown at the swanky Four Seasons.
The resident at the end of the hallway was pointing a gun at me.
Can you believe he's a doctor? Plus, hot pursuit.
The epic 100-mile-per-hour chase, but it wasn't what the cops were expecting.
My wife's going in a laser. Her water broke and we're rushing to the hospital.
Then, uproar over what's being called the scariest haunted house in America.
Oh my God, I can't get out!
How far is too far?
No more. I quit.
And ripped from the headlines Halloween costumes. The Golden Bachelorette. Cowgirl Beyonce, and look who she is. Now, Inside Edition with Deborah Norville.
Hello, everybody, and thank you for joining us. The Yankees finally figured out how to score some runs last night with a win that denies the Dodgers a chance to take the World Series in a clean sweep. It's now Dodgers 3, Yankees 1. But while the Bronx Bombers will play on, 2 Yankee fans won't be around to see it. They were ejected from the stands for trying to pull a ball out of a player's glove. Stephen Fabian reports they were so aggressive, some describe it as a mugging.
It's the World Series moment that fans will be talking about for years. It's almost unbelievable. It's even being called a mugging.
A for effort.
Well, he won't be watching the game much longer.
It happened in the first inning. LA Dodgers outfielder Mookie Betts is reaching for a foul ball in right field at Yankee Stadium. But 2 Yankees fans gang up and rip the ball out of his glove.
And yeah, Betts has that ball in his glove, and this fan literally tries to take his glove off. Pries the ball out of there.
The super fan was identified as Austin Capobianco, a 38-year-old season ticket holder. He and his buddy were kicked out of the jam-packed stadium. Hear those boos? They weren't booing the 2 dudes being kicked out for fan interference. They were booing the security officers. Look at those pats on the back and hugs, all for a job well done. Capobianco watched the rest of the game from this sports bar near the stadium, telling a reporter, "I know when I'm in the wrong, and as soon as I did it, I was like, boys, I'm out of here." So, is he a knucklehead or a hero who did what he could to support his beloved Yankees? Well, perhaps that depends on who you speak to and where they live. L.A. or New York. Doug Williams is covering the controversy for WCBS in the Big Apple. Mugging is a pretty strong word. Would you call it a mugging?
It was not, it was not a mugging.
Big Apple. Mugging is a pretty strong word. Would you call it a mugging?
It was not, it was not a mugging. It was just the gentle prying open of a mitt. Now, you can't do that. It sort of encapsulates Yankees fans for everyone who does not like the New York Yankees.
Darren Haynes is a sports reporter for KCBS and KCAL in Los Angeles. What's your take on what happened? Are people really calling it a mugging?
Well, listen, I'm in New York City right now. If someone came to me and tried to rip this microphone out of my hand, I got mugged. They took my mic.
So, who is Austin Capobianco? Well, ex-football great Rob Gronkowski, famous for his wild antics, knows him.
Here's a little fun fact. That guy right there grabbing Mookie Betts' glove
Don't tell me you know
was
him.
my friend in college.
Gronk, stop it right now.
He was on the ice hockey team, the club, Arizona Wildcats. They were absolute maniacs.
This fan literally tries to take his glove off.
Yankees sent us a statement. They say the guys crossed the line. They call their actions egregious and unacceptable and say they will not be permitted to attend tonight's game in any capacity. It is arguably the most consequential presidential election in a generation, and the 2 candidates are bickering about crowd size. As he has during the campaign, Donald Trump has been boasting that he filled Madison Square Garden this weekend. Now Kamala Harris's team says her rally in Washington, D.C. last night drew 75,000 people. Les Trent with the latest on the crowd wars.
The Harris campaign is boasting today about the size of the crowd at last night's D.C. rally and it was impressive.
Americans.
The theme of Kamala Harris's speech may have been unity, but moments later, that message was overshadowed by a gaffe from President Biden as he was slamming the comedian from Trump's Madison Square Garden rally for calling Puerto Rico a floating island of garbage.
The only garbage I see floating out there is his supporters.
The reaction from a floating island of garbage.
The only garbage I see floating out there is his supporters.
The reaction from the Trump campaign was instantaneous, with Florida Senator Marco Rubio delivering the news at Trump's rally in Pennsylvania.
I have breaking news for you, Mr. President. You may not have heard this. Just moments ago, Joe Biden stated that our supporters are garbage.
Remember Hillary? She said deplorable. And then she said irredeemable, right? But she said deplorable. That didn't work out. Garbage, I think, is worse, right?
The White House did some damage control today.
Just to clarify, he was not calling Trump supporters garbage. He has said multiple times that he is a president for all. It doesn't matter if you live in a red state. It doesn't matter if you live in a blue state.
Even Kamala Harris is distancing herself from Biden's blunder.
Let me be clear. I strongly disagree with any criticism of people based on who they vote for.
Meanwhile, Donald Trump is speaking out today for the first time about that comedian who ignited an uproar.
Who this comedian was, I have no idea.
You wish he wasn't there?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if it's a big deal or not, but I don't want anybody making nasty jokes or stupid jokes. I mean, probably he shouldn't have been there, yeah.
Nikki Haley is blasting Trump's campaign for hiring Tony Hinchcliffe.
This bromance and this masculinity stuff, I mean, it borders on edgy to the point that it's going to make women uncomfortable.
Okay, all right.
Latest polls out this week show it is still essentially a dead heat between Harris and Trump in the 7 swing states. You may have seen that terrifying standoff in downtown Atlanta when a disturbed man armed with weapons barricaded himself in his luxury residence and then started throwing stuff out of his 33rd floor window. Authorities are now saying that the man having a meltdown is a doctor. Jim Murray reports.
We're learning more about that terrifying standoff at a swanky Four Seasons hotel. The sniper wildly firing from the balcony has been identified by authorities as, get this, a prominent retired eye doctor.
The standoff unfolded after the suspect suffered what cops are calling a mental collapse, and he started throwing objects out the window. A hotel employee came to check on him, and that's when all hell erupted.
I went up to check out the mess, and the resident at the end of the hallway was pointing a gun at me, screaming, "Do not come this way. I don't want to hurt anybody."
When cops arrived, the ophthalmologist identified by authorities as 70-year-old J. Stevens Berger opened fire. The Four Seasons is a luxury hotel and residence. The condos sell for $1 million or more. People who live across the street recorded the tense standoff.
He's got a mask on.
He does have a mask on.
Here's Dr. Berger wearing a respirator mask typically used by construction workers and painters. He's holding an American flag in each hand and what looks like a white towel. As cops swarm the building, the suspect can be seen throwing items off the balcony.
Do you see him throwing stuff over the balcony?
Then he opens fire. After several hours of negotiations, the suspect surrendered.
Following treatment at a hospital, the suspect is now in jail awaiting charges. A cop in hot pursuit of a car going over 100 miles an hour on a highway, but then when the officer pulls over the driver, it wasn't what she was expecting. The man behind the wheel was speeding because he was trying to get his fiancée, who was in labor, to the hospital. Amber Cogliano on what happened next.
An officer is in hot pursuit of a speeding vehicle going 105 miles an hour. What the cop doesn't know is that the driver has a legitimate reason for speeding. He calls 911.
My wife's going into labor, or her water broke, and we're rushing to the hospital. I ran a red light.
The woman in labor screams at her fiancé to stop.
Right now, should I pull over?
The officer pulls up to the car.
My wife's in labor right now. Is she in labor?
She's in labor right now.
Her water broke. She's getting right out. Okay. Keep going.
With sirens blaring and lights blazing, the officer provides a police escort to the hospital in Utica, Michigan.
I know. Is this your first?
The expectant dad is so respectful, even in this moment of crisis. He has a question.
Do you want my license? Nope.
No license needed for this special delivery. Here's baby Henry today. I spoke to relieved parents Austin Sadowski and Mary Wirtz about their harrowing ordeal.
He's racing you to the hospital. Did you feel like you were going to deliver the baby in the car?
Well, I was bawling my eyes out. I couldn't stop crying. I was hysterical. Of course, this is happening right now.
Yeah, I was just like, out of all the moments, you know, like we just need to get there as quickly as possible.
Today, mom and dad credit the officer with saving baby Henry's life. Turns out Mary needed an emergency C-section, and she got them to the hospital just in time.
Baby's heart rate was dropping.
I also spoke to Officer Liz DeMink.
They are calling you a hero. They say you saved the baby's life.
Being a mom of two myself and understanding the gravity of what can happen and the severity of how things can shift so fast, I think I kind of went into mom mode.
And here's the officer meeting that very special delivery.
It was really great to meet him in real life form and not just in mom's belly.
Baby Henry's definitely going to have a great birthday story to tell when he grows up. A couple of weeks ago, we showed you singer Olivia Rodrigo falling into that hole of the stage during a concert. Well, she popped right back up, but now she admits it was exactly as scary as it looked.
Olivia Rodrigo!
Red hot singer Olivia Rodrigo hits the Tonight Show in a tiny red mini dress. And right away, talk turned to the singer's fall during a concert in Australia. She bounced right back as if nothing happened.
It was really scary, yeah. I mean, watching the video back is pretty terrifying. I mean, show must go on. That's showbiz, baby.
But was it worse than we thought? The 21-year-old Filipino-American pop star reveals she actually went to the hospital.
Nothing happened, but they just wanted to make sure I didn't have a concussion. And randomly, the nurse was a Filipino man with the same name as my grandpa, who just passed away a few months ago. And so I was like, wow, that was him looking out for me, making sure I didn't get hurt. And so I'm really happy it happened. I think
that was your grandfather. Absolutely was.
And actress Keke Palmer is opening up about the worst time of her life.
It got so out of control.
The host of the game show Password says she had to rebuild her life after leaving her now ex-boyfriend, who is the father of her son. In the cover of the New People magazine out Friday, she says Darius Jackson was physically abusive. Surveillance video made public a year ago shows Keke Palmer being thrown over the back of a sofa with Jackson's hand around her throat. In her interview, Palmer confirmed Jackson threw a fit after she was photographed with singer Usher wearing a sexy bodysuit under a sheer dress. It's the outfit. You a mom, Jackson tweeted.
In my opinion, I was just at a concert. I don't know how anybody else receives that, whether they know me or whether they're online. It was not that reality for me.
Palmer and her ex settled out of court and now share custody of their 20-month-old son. You can see more at people.com.
Keke Palmer has also written a memoir. It's called Master of Me. It'll hit shelves on November 19th. We'll be back with more Inside Edition right after this.
Next. Uproar over what's being called the scariest haunted house in America.
Oh my God, I can't get out!
How far is too far?
Ripped from the headlines Halloween costumes, the Golden Bachelorette, Cowgirl Beyonce, and look who she is. Inside Edition with Deborah Norville will be right back. Closed caption sponsorship for Inside Edition is brought to you by...
Hi, I'm the Macy's gift guide. I've curated all of Macy's for all things holiday. Thoughtful last-minute gifts? Got 'em. 5 parties to dress for? Done.
That's a lot of parties.
I know. Macy's is here for all of it.
Are you really going to 5 parties?
This holiday season, let Macy's be your guide to gifting.
Have you been to a haunted house yet? This time of year, they're everywhere and can be really scary. But as Allison Hall reports, patrons think there is one haunted house that goes too far.
What are you doing in my land?
America will spend $12 billion scaring ourselves silly this Halloween. And few things are scarier than a haunted house, as I found out. New York's Blood Manor is one of the scariest fright fests around, with plenty of terrifying thrills.
We want to make sure that we scare the heck out of people, but we make sure that they're safe.
But a so-called extreme haunted house in Tennessee is causing a big controversy because the horrors are just too, well, extreme. Oh my God, I can't get out! It's called McCamey Manor. Some people who have been through McCamey Manor say they have been beaten, abused, and humiliated. Some people say they were waterboarded. Another guy says he was actually buried alive. There's a $20,000 reward for anyone who can endure the entire 8-hour ordeal, but no one has ever won it. The guy being buried alive wanted to stop.
I quit. There is no quitting, Chris. I quit about 23 times, and it just keeps going on.
At one point, I was put into some really, really, really disgusting water, and I was concerned that I was going to get something.
Legitimate haunted houses should never, ever get physical, says Blood Manor creator Jim Lorenzo.
What crosses the line is that you have to consider safety first. You know, you could scare people without touching them, without putting bugs on them. We don't need to torture you to frighten you.
Visitors to McCamey Manor must sign a 40-page waiver stating that they're aware of the extreme psychological and physical torture. For most of us, staying home and handing out candy seems like a pretty good idea. We'll be back with more Inside Edition after this.
Still to come, ripped from the headlines Halloween costumes, the Golden Bachelorette, cowgirl Beyonce, and look who she is.
I think when people get up in the morning, they want to know what's happened in the world overnight. Breaking news, and let's go right to that traffic nightmare. It is so exciting to be able to cover breaking news and know that every detail will get to the viewers.
If you think about what made news this past year, you probably have a pretty good idea of the costumes you'll see tomorrow night for Trick or Treat. Les Trent explains.
Look familiar? Taylor Swift sent pulses racing, showing up at the Kansas City Chiefs game in red thigh-high boots. Hello. Now you can trick or treat in Taylor's outfit.
This look is so hot, hot, hot. All you need is a denim crop top, some shorts, some even shiny red hot boots, and you're gonna look like Taylor Swift in no time.
Remember Taylor's Time magazine cover with her kitty cat Benjamin Button draped around her neck?
Now you can look like your very own Time magazine cover star as well. Just bring on your pet and a black turtleneck and even tights, and you're good to go.
Beyonce's country album, Cowboy Carter, made history, and yeehaw! It's inspiring these hot costumes.
So get your cowboy hats, some fun fringe, a statement belt, and you're gonna look like a Cowboy Carter in no time.
We're ready to find love.
These gentlemen are trying to woo the Golden Bachelorette.
And you don't have to be in your 60s to rock this look. It is an ageless and golden look.
Dallas Cowboy cheerleaders have never been more popular, thanks to the hit Netflix docuseries America's Sweethearts.
This Halloween costume is super fun, it's sexy, and definitely the all-American way to go.
The juice is loose. The Beetlejuice sequel is big at the box office. Now you and your significant other can dress up as the trickster ghost and his gal pal.
This outfit is Halloween at its sexiest form. You have the garter on her leg, this very petite little mini dress here with lace on the bottom, and of course that veil.
Happy Halloween!
Dressing up for Halloween is big business. According to the National Retail Federation, Americans will spend $3.8 billion. That is billion with a B, just on costumes this year alone. When we come back, she loves a man in uniform, and she's looking for a date. Call me, maybe. That's next.
Travel consideration provided by...
This is our night.
Jingles doesn't care.
But Shingrix protects. Only Shingrix is proven over 90% effective. Shingrix is a vaccine used to prevent shingles in adults 50 years and older. Shingrix doesn't protect everyone. It isn't for those with severe allergic reactions to its ingredients or to a previous dose. Tell your healthcare provider if you're pregnant or breastfeeding. Increased risk of Guillain-Barré syndrome was observed after getting Shingrix. Fainting can happen, so take precautions. Most common side effects are pain, redness, and swelling where injected, muscle pain, tiredness, headache, shivering fever, and upset stomach. Ask your doctor about Shingrix today.
Stay tuned. There's more Inside Edition to come.
Our job in the weather department is to inform people, not alarm people, but inform them so they can make the best decisions possible. I think this is really going to help people. My favorite thing about it is it grabs your attention. I mean, it's sitting there in bold print. It's like in your face. This must be something important. I better pay attention.
And finally for you today, the single lady and the firefighter with a really good sense of humor.
This girl wants to date a cute firefighter. She literally meets in passing. Will he? Good luck making that call.
Yeah, you'll get a firefighter if you call 911. Maybe not that guy. That's Inside Edition. I'm Deborah Norville. Thank you for watching. We'll see you next time.